Hi guys, I'm Rob and welcome back to the channel. You join me for the second session of this two-part visit to TeamSport in Sheffield. I'd come out with 9 of my work colleagues and we were joined then by 3 additional people. Now, I say people, I don't know whether they were members or not. They weren't in our briefing, so I assumed they were members, but they were rather slow, so I'm also assuming they're not members. I don't actually know. So we've come to a quick red flag here. This is the second session and I'm going to take this opportunity to thank all of you who have subscribed to the channel. There's been a few new subscribers recently and it's really starting to become a constant thing. So thank you to everyone who has, and if you haven't, please hit that like button, and while you're there, hit that subscribe button too, then turn on those notifications. So this is a work visit, as I'd said, although it's an open session, so we had 3 other people joining us. And in my previous session, I had a bad kart. And if you haven't seen that session, click the link in the top right corner now, where you will be taken to the first visit. Watch that, then come back and watch the rest of this video. Obviously, I've been going for quite some time, and they know I've been going regularly. So my plan was to show them what I can do, and show off and go faster than everyone, and go fast by a long way. In the first session though, I had this bad kart, ended up having no brakes coming into this first corner, taking out my boss's boss. Not good. And as I didn't adjust to the kart very well and it just generally felt quite slow, my fastest lap was actually only a 1:01 dead. That's very slow. Dan, who I go regularly with, did a 1:02 dead, so I was only a second faster than the second fastest kart. So this time, obviously, my plan was to go out there and go faster still. First few laps, I've got stuck behind this kart. Now my plan, I was the 4th kart released from the downstairs pits, and my plan was to just pass everyone on the outlap. That didn't happen, I only got past 1, and then I got stuck behind the others on the yellow flags. I'm now clear, so I've now got time to go flat out and see what we can do. Obviously this lap's not going to be that quick, as I was fighting to get past that final kart. But we'll see what we can do, apart from the fact that we've now got a red flag, so this is definitely not the lap. And as we wait to go and be released under the yellow flags, hopefully we'll be a quick yellow flag and we'll be back under green flag before we get to the start line for the first full flying lap. Obviously my intention was to go out here and go very quick and show up everyone, even Dan. What I didn't expect was to pass as many karts as I did. Now watching the footage back, I didn't pass everyone, and that's fine. I knew that once I got into the pits at the end anyway. But what it felt like was I just felt like I was passing everyone, and particularly towards the end, and you'll see this as it gets happening. It just felt incredibly quick. This kart, compared to my last one, is already feeling quick. So hopefully this lap will be quicker, but then we're going to hit the traffic already, and yeah, you'll see what I mean when we get there. So as we come round through the final section on the first clear lap, we can now come up the final ramp, and hopefully that's already quicker. So 1 minute dead, so I've already taken a second out. Now I just need to get comfortable in this kart, get some more clear space, and we'll get on with it. There's a few karts ahead already, so I'm already starting to catch people. But we're clear enough at the moment that we should be fine. Depends on how slow they really are going. Now with my last visit to TeamSport, and the one prior to that which wasn't on camera, I had adjusted my position in the kart, and I had not adjusted the pedals, I'd not adjusted the seat position, but I'd taken the insert out as I go around the first lap kart on the outside. I've taken the seat insert out, which obviously gives you more movement in the seat of the kart. So I think that just helped my back a little bit as I had a bit more flex. as we've now come under that minute mark and done a 59.7. Obviously there's traffic ahead, so we're going to have to just be a bit patient for the moment. Hopefully we'll get it clear. This new position though, certainly helping my back. Maybe having the extra flex in the seat is just enough. So 3 cars here, I've caught up to the back of them, and yeah, I've got nowhere to go at this point, so I'm just going to have to sit patiently behind kart number 17. There's 3 of them, and now there's 2 of them, as one of them's managed to put themselves into the tyre barrier. We don't go red, so he obviously managed to recover himself. That was one of my work colleagues. The first kart that I passed wasn't, so just to show how slow they were actually going, which is why I'm convinced they're not members, even though they weren't in the briefing. So at this point, I'm sat behind kart 17, and I've realised it's one of my closer colleagues. My department is split into multiple teams, and this guy is in my team. So I decided to give him a little nudge. I had joked with him most of the week that if I got up to the back of him, I was going to push him along so he can go faster. So I give him a little wave as I do finally give up with that idea and go fast. Have a little giggle to myself. Now he did actually improve from his previous time by over 30 seconds, so he'd done well. We visited, as a company, we visited TeamSport Sheffield back in the early March, so before I was recording, and he had done like a 1 minute 42. He'd now, this time around on the second session here, he'd done a 1 minute 8. I've been joking with him since that it was the lap where I was pushing him that he went fastest. Don't think that's quite true, but I'm going to stick with that anyway. And he's more than happy with what he's done, so well done to him. So this third of those 3 back markers there has just gone. He had a sudden burst in speed and disappeared. But as you can see, we are catching him and some others as well, so it won't be long before we have to start thinking about working our way past them again. So now we've caught up to the back of him. Unfortunately not in a great place, as there's not much you can do here. Sometimes you can get the undercut, but in this case it's not worked. But I have managed to see that he was about to leave that door open, and his awareness was either great or I was just lucky, and he didn't turn in on me. So I passed him, I passed another one on the inside, and got caught out by kart number 2. They're hitting the brakes, and somehow, not sure how, somehow I did not hit him. I've watched that back in slow motion a few times, and yeah, there was no contact between myself and kart number 2 on the lower part of the corner there. Obviously I didn't help him, as I gave him that little nudge going into the top corner, and then what he'd done was he hit the brakes on the metal strip. So as the floor transitions from concrete here to wood, there's a metal strip just before that, and obviously as you're coming down the ramps you're going from the wood to the concrete, which gives you the metal strip. He hit the brakes exactly on the metal strip, which is why the wheels just locked straight away and he spun out. If you hit the brakes before on the wood or after on the concrete, or not at all if you're going very fast, it won't spin so easily. You can still spin it, but not many people do. It's quite a common thing to spin on those metal strips when you hit them. But now we're coming around again, the track is clear ahead of us, and we'll get to see what we can do. Is this one going to be a fast lap? We have the kart spin out in front of us, and I'm clearly on the edge through here. I know I do this bit quick. We come up the ramp for the final time, and yeah, I'm happy with that lap time. I can consistently do these 59-second laps if I've got clear space now, as I get shown the fastest lap board. Obviously that wasn't an immediate reaction to me going this lap, it was presumably from the previous fast lap, which was slightly quicker than that. But we're still to go faster. On this lap here, we go even faster still. This is the last clear fully clear lap that I get, but we're going to make the most of it anyway. As I'm pushing through and just trying to keep the pace of the kart up wherever possible. I always get frustrated with the karts going up the ramps, although this one does feel slightly quicker than the previous session, particularly the big ramps where you go from the bottom to the very, very top. Yeah, some of them feel really slow, and that's where you make or lose a lot of time. This one feels quite good. As we come round, and we've set ourselves a session best of 59.6. I mean, that'll do. It's not awful for me, but it's also not great. And as that kart messes up the corner and I put myself to the outside, he doesn't pay much attention to me being there and just carries on pushing me into the barrier. Thankfully he messes up the line on the next corner as well, and I just go past him and get him out of the way. As we come around the top corners again, I've just messed up the line ever so slightly going in that top corner, which has just caused the kart to spin, and then I'm seeing a marshal on the track under green flag conditions. That's not great. So I had obviously backed off at that point, which is why this lap is slower. Obviously as soon as I saw the marshal on the track, my foot came off the throttle and I was just coasting to see what he was doing. He was on the tyres by that point, so it was nice and clear, although still quite a risk for him. And as we come into the lower section here, we'll just keep pushing and see if we can make this lap back into those 59 seconds. We've done well so far, but as you can see at the top of the ramp there, there's another kart. And it was at this point that I was starting to feel that I was passing almost everyone. Obviously this is kart number 1. This is the second or third time I'm passing kart number 1, and that's why I'd got into my head that I was passing everyone. Bided my time, found a way through. 1 minute 1, that was a slower lap, and as you can see, there's a stationary kart. He's got himself going again, but I'm coming past him. Straight flow around the outside. Have a think about passing number 2 on the outside there, but get the door closed, and that's me passing him for the second or third time as well. In fact, that's the third time for kart number 2, second time for kart number 17. So yeah, that just shows why I was getting this confidence, thinking, oh, I'm doing so fast and I'm just passing everyone. Obviously I knew I hadn't passed Dan at this point, so I knew that I hadn't passed everyone. But yeah, it just felt that it was getting to that point, and again I've messed up the line going into that top corner, which has just caused the kart to go a little bit light and have a little slide. Now I kept my foot in under the yellow flags, which was naughty of me, I'll admit. I shouldn't have done it, but I thought I was on a quicker lap than I was, and I just wanted to get the lap time done before I reacted to the yellow flags. But that's the end of this session, that's the end of this video. As always guys, thank you very much for joining me. Please do give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications, and leave a comment down below. Join me next time for my next visit. I think it will be Sheffield again, but thanks for joining me. Cheers.